Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm one of the developers in Sunlight Labs, part of the Sunlight Foundation. We're getting ready to launch a new site here called TransparencyData. I just wanted to give you a quick run through of it here. Our goal with TransparencyData was to provide an easy way for programmers and journalists to download subsets of data sets that they would like to work with. To this point, you could get sets of data, but they were often very large and you would have to know how to work with a database and load them into a database to work with them. But now, hopefully, you can go online, fill out a form, and download a spreadsheet of exactly what you want to work with. The first data set that we have in TransparencyData right now are federal and state campaign contributions. We are adding lobbying and more data sets will follow. So I'll walk you through the federal and state campaign contribution filtering first. Okay, so when you go to TransparencyData, you can start filling out filters to get the subset of data that you want to work with. We pre-fill a couple filters for you just to make it easier on you and on our servers. So here you can see that we have a cycle, which is a 2-year span in which campaign contributions are made, an election cycle. We have that already pre-filled out, so it's the 2009-2010 cycle. And we are looking at contributions in support of a candidate. We have a drop-down here where you can add any number of fields to continue your search and filter things down. So let's look at contributions to Chris Van Hollen, who is my representative. Here we get a preview of the data just to make sure that it matches what we're looking for and that our filter is correct. So you can see that we have previewing 30 records of 645 contributions made to Chris Van Hollen in the 2009-2010 election cycle. Let's add another filter here, just because we're not concerned about all of his contributions. So we're going to add a contributor state filter, and we will pick Maryland, so that we only get contributions from people in the state that he represents. We'll preview the data again just to make sure it looks better. 376 records, that looks pretty good. And we can click download data. We'll save that, and the download is completed. And we can just open it right here. And so here we have a spreadsheet with all sorts of information about contributions to Chris Van Hollen. It's a fairly complex data format, but all of that is available in our documentation. It's a description of every field and some more information on where you can find lookups from the original records. We also have bulk downloads in case you want to get access to larger subsets of the data. These are pre-computed. We have state, federal, broken out by contribution year as well. And lastly, we have an API that's on all the data. Anything you can do through the web-based filters, you can also get through the API. And with the API, you have the choice of downloading CSVs or JSON. The good thing about the API is that we currently have the lobbying data in the API as well. So you can get access to that as well. Additionally, we have a Python client library for the developers out there. It gives access to everything, and we have a Ruby library in the works. So that's transparencydata.com. Hope you try it out and hope it's useful.